Hello everyone. You're welcome to this Java class, and our focus on this tutorial will be to learn OOP, what we call object-oriented programming. So we'll start with some theoretical aspects, then dive straight into the practical. So I hope you enjoy this video. Just like, leave a comment, okay, and subscribe to our channel. Now, OOP, like I just mentioned, stands for Object-Oriented Programming. So, Object-Oriented Programming uh, is, it's a terminology that we have to use objects. Okay, we create classes and then use objects of those classes to create what we want, several classes from them. Okay, so it's a software engineering practice and it's been around for a long time. So it helps in reusability, okay, and a lot of other things. So with OOP, we talk about inheritance, classes, objects, and the rest of the topics like that. So let's dive straight in. So we begin with an introduction that everywhere you look in the real world, you see objects. People, cars, animals, plants, houses, and so on. They are all objects, okay? So you begin to think in terms of those objects, all right? So we somehow divide objects into two categories, living things and non-living things. So objects of both types have some things in common, okay? They all have what we call attributes. Example, sizes, colors, shapes, weight, okay? So even if you are talking about man, a man has a size, a house has a size, has weight, has, so these are called attributes, and then they exhibit what we call behaviors. For example, a baby cries, they walk, they run, they wake up, they sleep, a car accelerates, a car brakes, a car clutches, and all those behaviors. So you get the difference between attributes is like describing a property of that particular object, like height, weight, size, and color, and all those things. So behavior is actually a kind of verb, what it does. Okay, like a car moves, a car brakes, a car accelerates, um, and all those things. So once you begin to think in that direction, the three things, the objects, the attributes, and the behavior, then you already understand the concept of object-oriented programming. So just a quick wrap up. Objects, we think about cars, people, plants, animals, houses, planes, computers, etc. It could be like a noun. Okay, you can look at objects as nouns in English. And then attributes could be like what property they possess, their color. You can have some black, you can have some white, some yellow, some green. So that attribute can be specific to a particular object. You get, so what behavior? Behavior is like different methods, okay, if or different functions if you've studied programming. So different functions. Behavior is like a ball rolls, a baby cries, a man sleeps, okay, a car accelerates, and all those behaviors. Okay, so um I would dive straight into talking about classes and objects, okay, because for you to really understand the concept of OOP, you have to understand what we call classes. Now, classes are to objects as blueprints are to houses. So let me make that very, very simple. Just as we can build many houses from one architectural blueprint, okay, we can create many objects from one class. So the thing is, if we need to create, if our company is a manufacturing company and we want to create um, cars, okay, in a manufacturing company. So you not just each car you start to think again. So you might just have a template, all right, that you have certain definitions that will be general to all kinds of cars. For example, cars will have tires and all those things. So cars will have a shape and all those. So a height. So you define these general things, okay, as a class, okay, to be used as a template that can be reused to create different kinds of cars. And I tell you, that's what they're actually doing. So you want to create a Jeep, you use that template, modify a bit, add specific attributes for Jeep, and then it becomes a Jeep. You want to create a Volvo, I mean, you specify the attributes you need and the behavior, and then it becomes so. But the template, the overall template, is like a class, and you don't need to change that. So that's what we mean. So I would define classes as blueprints. Okay, a class is a blueprint or a template that can be used, that can be reused to create different objects from them. Okay, so classes can have relationships with other classes and associations and all others. So we will look deeper into this when we dive into the practical aspects. And I welcome you to this course once again. All right. So let's begin by creating. I'll keep on this talking about it as we go ahead. But for now, let's just create a new Java project and I'll call this demo. Okay, can start that with a capital. So I can remove this and just click finish. Okay, so that goes well. So I right click on this and I create a new class. Okay, and I call this class can we use a house, or maybe let me just use a car. Okay, all right, so let me use something very simple. So we have person class. Okay, so we don't need this. Okay, so we don't need that. Once we are done with that, we click that and it's out. All right, so the next step would be to actually create. So this is our class. So a class starts with public. Okay, it mustn't start with public actually, but for this class we have a public. I'm going to explain what all these stand for. We have class, we have person. Okay, so this is a keyword. This keyword public is what we call an access modifier. Okay, so we for now we'll simply declare every class as public, like I just mentioned. So I'll talk more once we talk about the method inside of these classes. So we have a public, and this is class. You use lowercase for everything, but the class name should be I mean, it should always be in capital. Now, you may notice in other Java programs that we have, sorry about that, we have a public method. Let me just write it out, but we'll delete that automatically. So we have public static void main, then we have string args. Okay, we have something like this. So I want you to note that it's not all the class that you'll have that. So the main method, okay, this is called a main method, and this is the name of the main method. Okay, it's a special method that is automatically called by the JVM, the one we installed, Java Virtual Machine, when you execute an application. So automatically, this has a main method, so it will be automatically called by let's just run. Let me just do something. System.out.println println. Okay, we have hello world. Okay, so you see it's automatically called because this is a main method. Okay, so this special method called main, you write it is only in C# that you have to use capital M. So but with Java you use small m. So you write it, that's the name of the method, and this is an array and the arguments. Okay, so this main method gets automatically called when you execute the application. Okay, so it's not all the methods that get automatically called. So if it's not a main method, it will not get automatically called. Okay, so let's start by defining. Let me remove this. So we define what's a method. So this is the name of the class, capitalized, called person. So let's just define a method called public void, and let's just say display name. That's name of the person. So that's what we want to do now. So so once we do that, we have this open up here. Now let me briefly explain this again. So this means, like I said, is an access modifier, and then it means that it is available, that this method from 4 to 6 is available to the public. What we mean by public is not actually public on social media or public around your street. What we mean public is it can be called from another class. Okay, it is available to be called on another class. So if we change the access modifier to private, then it can only be accessed inside of this class. So that's what we mean, it is available to the public. Okay, so this return type, this after this, the access modifier, we have a return type, and then the return type of void, we have several return types. We have static and the rest of them. So this void means that the method will perform a task, but it will not return any information in its calling method. Okay, so you will not have a return. So it will just perform a task, but you will not have a return in its calling method. So that's what this means. So this is available to the class and other classes and methods, and then this does not have a return type. So this is a name of a method. So the class starts from 2 to 7, whereas a method is just from 4 to 6. So methods are always encapsulated inside of a class. You can't have a method like outside a class like that in OOP. So the classes enclose methods. Okay, all right. So having said that, we can just have a system.out print, and we say, remember to close this. My name. Okay, so that's basically okay. Okay, let's just leave it at that. My name. All right. So uh, let's my name is John. Let's just leave that. All right. So now having this is a public method. Okay. We can also have static void and the rest of them, but let's just experiment with one. We are going to remove this very soon. Static void, say hello. Okay, so if we have this static void, say hello, and then we just print out something hello. Okay, so if we run this method, all right, so we expected that. Okay, so why? Because public static void main string args not found, right? So that's why I said you must have it if it's the only method you have. So let's have that public static void main, and then I mean we could print something else, but then let me show you what to do. So we can print this anything else. Okay, and then if we run that, anything else should appear, right? But besides being able to print something on the main method alone, we are able to call this method that was called earlier. Okay, so we are able to call that one. Okay, so we have hello. So if this changes, hello is changing. So we have hello is changing. So that's practically how to call methods within one class, and that's easy enough. But for this part, we are going to discuss how to call, let me remove this as well. So because this is public, how to be able to call this from another class. So let's get there now. So in our source, we have another class called this other class called, let's just call it person run execute. Okay, so we call it person execute, and let's just make things easy by choosing this as well. Okay, so we publish that. Okay, so we have our person execute now. Okay, so once we are here, we want to target this. So that takes us to what we call creating an object of the class. So let me just do it here. Create an object of the class person. Okay, so how do you create an object? To create an object, you get here, make sure it's the same class name, exactly the same, and then you have person here. Okay, it's just like saying it's assigned the value of person. So this is an easy way of doing something. You terminate this, you open and close this. Okay, and then this, like the person class is creating a new person, so you have a new keyword here. Okay, and then over on this side you need what we call an object, like a variable that you keep using to create different versions of this person. So let's just call PR. So person PR is assigned the value of new person. So with that, we are able to use PR for work. So we now say PR and we choose this method. So we are able to access that method, and then we are able to print it. So if we run this again, we see my name is John. This is a class that is actually running, but is fetching data from this function in this class. So that's a very easy way of making sure that we have different classes, and then we are able to incorporate them to work very well. So going further from that, let's just go ahead and add something. So now let me just explain something easily here. So now we have a method, and when the bracket of a method is empty, it's said to be a method without a parameter. So but once we have something inside of here, that method has a parameter. So let's having worked with this method that has no parameter, let's be able to work with another method that has a parameter. So I'll just do some copy and paste, but let me create this, or let me just do this at once. So I'm highlighting, I use my shift and I clicked on both. So I copy them and I actually want to paste them again. So I'm pasting them here. Yes, so with parameters, para. So let's just call that's with parameters. So this is para. So person para. All right. So we have the ones with parameters. So I'm just making it different so that we don't mix things up. So we have person with para. So how do we add this? So let's just say a string. So the essence of having parameters on the reason we have parameters, I hope I'm recorded. So yeah, all right, yeah, sorry about that. I just missed that. I thought the recording has stopped. So the reason we have parameters here is to be able to send an information from a particular class to another class, so that, or maybe from a particular method per se to another method, so that it should be able to impute whatever, I mean, information, okay, so that that information will be made functionable here, something like that. So let's see how we have that. So we have string name. So let's just say we allow the person to be the one typing his name, okay, instead of us just typing it for him. So here we are able to just say name. Can't I spell name? All right, yeah. So we have this parameter name. So when the user calls this display name, he should supply his name, okay, and whatever name that is supplied will be added to this string. So that's what actually means. So let's go there. So coming up here now, if we run this method person, we are now focusing on person para, so we change this to para and then person para, but we'll still have that line drawn, okay, because we have a problem now here. So the problem is display name is not empty, so it needs a name. So we supply a name. All right, so Daniel Davids. Okay, so that goes well. So it says my name is Daniel Davids because we have supplied this name and it has gone here to change this. So that's a way of working with methods with parameters. Okay, so another way of making it look a bit mature would be to bring in what we call scanner. All right, so scanner enables the user to input data. So what we have done, the first one here, what we did was just to do it. We had coded the name. Yes, we updated from there. So the second one, what we did was to supply a parameter for the user to add, but we are still the user, okay, supplying or hard coding this name. So we want to move from there and just make something better by using scanner. All right, so let's use scanner and supply that. So I copy these ones with para, these ones, and I'm pasting them. I paste them exactly. So person para or scanner, let me just put it that way. Let me put it that way, or maybe input, whatever. So person para scanner. So this one will use scanner and accept user input. So let's pick the first one. Oh yeah, this one. So to work with scanner to accept user input, what you actually need to import java util dot or scanner to be specific. Okay, there's no need importing everything at once. So we have this scanner, and then we will create an object of the class scanner. All right, so actually we are not supposed to do that here. We don't even need to make any changes to this person scanner. Okay, so let's go and import it in the right place, because we don't have a main method here. So let's get to where we have a main method. So we have imports here, and then we have scanner. Okay, so what will happen, we'll first create an object of scanner, just like we did here. So scanner is assigned the value of, this is an easy way of doing it so that you don't mix it up, especially if you are learning. So new scanner, and then we have maybe input. Okay, scanner. So it's this input you will use. All right, so what happens is, now we have our gradebook as well. So object of scanner, object of gradebook. So we need system dot in here to be able to put it in our input stream. All right, so object of scanner, object of scanner to accept input. The comment is good for now. All right, okay, so once we do that and then we get into this, so the next thing will be to prompt the user for his name for input. Okay, so we will just ask that. So to do that, prompt the user to enter his name. Okay, so to do that, we of course we need system dot out dot println okay, so and then we need this. So here, enter your name, anything can be written here. Okay, so we prompt the user to do that. So once the user enters his name, we need a way of grabbing that name that the user just entered. So maybe we have string name, so we need a variable. Okay, so now that we have the variable, we need this object we created dot next line. Okay, if it's a number, you use next int. Okay, so but if it's a string, you use next line and you leave it empty, right? So all right, so once we do that, get grab, let me use it, grab the name from user. Okay, so we use that to grab the name from the user. So we have this name stuff, and then we'll be able to print it out. Okay, so so instead of having our this thing print like that, so we'll just print here name. So we copy that and we paste the name. All right, so running this, enter your name, Uwem Akpabot. So it tells me my name is Uwem Akpabot. Okay, so it's able to allow the user to enter different kinds of names. So if we run this again, enter your name, Ada Loveless, the first female programmer. Okay, my name is Ada Loveless. So that is how to effectively allow, work with two different classes, create objects, and allow the user to manipulate that name and change the name at will. All right. Okay. Now that all this has been said, so sometimes we need a situation where we are able to set and get our course name. So let me see. Let me quickly look at that. So all right, so I think we can still do one or two things. So let's see how to create what we call instance variables, set methods, and get methods. Okay, So variables declared in the body of a particular method are known as local variables and can only be used in that method. When the method terminates, the value of its local variable are lost. Okay, so we don't want that to happen. So we want a situation where we are able to set and get variables, and then we are able to have variables in the scope of the class, not just in the scope of the method. So we are able to access them also from another class. So let's see how that happens. So we'll continue with our person analogy. So let's get there. So let's create a new one. Do I need to create a new one? Yeah, let me just create a new one. So new class called person get set get. Okay, so it's funny, but let's just have that name. So person set get. So to have set and get methods, we want to have, so instead of this name we had here, instead of this name, string name, of course, we have it here. Okay, oh, sorry about that, here actually. So we declare it as private because we want it to be accessed here. All right, so then we are able to have our methods public void set name, set name, let me just maybe set person name, right? And then we are able to grab that string name again. Let's just have something. So we have string name. Okay, so we want it to look different. So what we do now, it's all you need to do is to set it. So we can set it like this name. It's assigned the value of n. Okay, so whatever is provided here, this name is assigned to it. Now we also have another method, public. You see the differences between these two methods. Now this one is string because it will return something. The other one was void. It won't return anything, just to set it. So we have string get person name. Okay, and then after that you don't need any parameters for this. Okay, so what you need to do is just to return. All right, and then you return name. Okay, so once we do that, we are done. And then the last but not the least is just to have a display message that does that. Maybe you can just write that again, public void, so display, or display name. Okay, then we have this that says so we want to display this. So what we just need to do is system.out.println, then we can display this. Okay, and then we close this. Okay, so this will work, but maybe you just need to add something to make it look beautiful. So we concatenate that. Then we have it is a pleasure to meet you. Okay, comma, to meet you. It is a pleasure to meet you, and then you get the person name. Okay, so let me close that. Okay, it is a pleasure to meet you, then you have the person name. All right, so and then you remember to close the bracket and terminate it at the end. All right, so now that we have created that, so what we'll do is just let's try this out. Okay, so it's still running the other one because we don't have a main method for this one first. Okay, so let's go and have a main method for this one that you be able to grab the set the get method. Okay, so let's go. So what we do here, we right click and then we have a class, then we call this how did we call it, person get set, or perhaps set get, and then we call this execute. Okay, then we already have that here. So we have a main method that will run things up for us. Okay, so now let's also use a scanner here. So let's import java.util.scanner, and then yep, I did spell that well. So java.util.scanner. So I copy that and just like we did before. So inside of the main method we have scanner. Okay, input is assigned the value of new scanner. Okay, and then remember to do that system in dot in. Okay, right. So once you do that, is the input you'll be working on now. So let's also have a person, what was the name, get set. So be able to do this person get set PRS is assigned the value of new person get set. Okay, so no errors. So once we do that, we want to print the initial course name. So we have system dot out dot println. Okay, and then we're able to print initial initial person name, person name. Okay, so we're able to print that person name will now be PRS. Okay, because I think we have done that properly. Okay, so we want to print it first, then be able to change it. So by supplying, by supplying a new name. Okay, I can just say former name, former name. Okay, then new name. Okay, so we have system.out.println again. So we want the user, so enter your new name, you go there, and then we're able to grab that new name. Okay, so to do that we just call it string and new name. Okay, is assigned the value of input dot next line. Okay, so we are able to grab that new name that the person has entered. So the last thing we should do would just be to be able to print the display message that we have, this this display name that we have. So we come over here and then just system.out.println and then display message, display name. All right, so this should do. Okay, so let me just, maybe your new name is your new name is. Okay, so we get it from this object. dot display name, and then it's a method. So we have it like that. I think we're having an error. So what could be the, oh, not this one, it's actually it's actually the gradebook. We is actually this we need, yeah, the PRS for that. Oh, we are having an error. So let's sort that out. So this should be person dot get person name, something like that. Okay, so that works. Let's check this first. Oh, get. I think we're having some errors and we have to look closely to it. So person get sets is from here, and then we are able to string. So set, oh wow, we didn't set it, sorry about that. So we needed to set that name here. So we have PRS dot set. Okay, so we set the name to the new name. Okay, so once we are able to do that, then we are able to now print the last line, which is the display message, because it now has the name. So that was the error we found ourselves. So why? Okay. Set course name, set person name, and then we have a new name, and then over here we have dot get person name. That's the one we need actually. So that should work. Oh, so let's have a new name, John Daniels. Then your new name is John Daniels, but we are having issues with this former name. So let's look at that former name. So we didn't just need to put that like that. So the former name is, I mean, you just use that and then we get the person name. That's how we get the former name before we set a new name for it here. So former name is null. That's what we wanted to see. And then we have a new name. Okay, so whatever you supply here, John Doe. Oh my God, where's so whatever you supply here, John Doe, and that's the name. So if we run this again, let's say Elizabeth Neil. Okay, so that's how to work on. So let me, because of that error we faced, let me quickly recap on something. So here we import scanner here, and we are able to create an object of this scanner. We accept it. So we create an object of this class also here, and then this class has a set and a get method. So we are able to automatically get the person name, which has not been defined, is null. I mean, it's null. We didn't define anything here, right? So it's null by default. So we're able to get it, and then we display it. So we're actually displaying with this print ln. Now system. So we create a new name here. We are asking the user to create a new name, and then he imputes that, and we're able to grab it on this line 13. Then we're able to now set, we use this function to set the new person name to be this name. Okay, so it's like us saying whatever you enter for us, we write it here. So something like that. So we're able to set it here on this line. Okay, then now having set it, we're able to get the name using the return function get person name, which is here. Okay, so I mean, we can also get the display name. I mean, we can also get the display name if we want it, but I think that can just be dot name. Okay, and this is not okay. So if we have that, so over here we can also do this. Okay. Oh, didn't try that. So all right, so let's so that's the explanation for what we have done so far. So welcome again to OOP, and this is how it works. We will look at in our next videos, we will look at inheritance and the other part. So but I hope you've understood the concept of methods with parameters, methods calling from other classes using our main method, access modifiers, and the rest of the things, I mean, for object-oriented programming. Thank you very much. So see you in our next class.